Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we are playing Blue-Black Tempo. We are playing the exact 75 that Japanese player INF plays, and he played this to a first place finish in a recent Legacy challenge. I'm whispering because my kids are asleep, so please bear with me, and I'm not doing this for some sort of aesthetic reason. I'm doing it for a very practical reason. I don't want to wake up my kids. So the list is very typical in that it has 4 Nethergoyf. It's down to 3 Tamio actually, so most people play 4. And then it's got the 2 Kaito, and it's got the 4 Bowmasters, and it's got the 2 Brazen Borrower. Those are all stock, but it has 2 Barrowgoyf instead of having any mercs. There are no mercs in the list. It's got a main deck Nile Spellbomb as just main deck Graveyard Disruption. It's got 3 Thoughtseize and 3 days, so it's down a day. Usually people play 4, but it does have the full 4 Wastelands, and the rest of the lands are very stock. Where it differs, again, is the fact that it's got 2 Barrowgoyfs instead of Murktides, and in the sideboard. They play a different sideboard than I do. Consigned to Memory, I don't play this card anymore. Now that Eldrazi's, like, air quotes, banned out of the format. They only play 2 Hydroblasts. I play 3. Just lots of respect for red decks. They play 2 Force Negation, 2 Harbinger, a Dismember, a Shieldred's Edict, so they play even more removal in the sideboard. Disruptor Flute is a very flexible card. I think this should probably be in a lot of people's sideboards. Engineered Explosives for Chalice decks. Unlicensed Hearse, I haven't played this card in like a year or two, but it's pretty good in the mirror, I would imagine. Null Rod for graveyard, or for artifact strategies, and 2 Grafdigger's Cage for graveyard decks. Note the dyssynergy. I don't really like Grafdigger's Cage because it stops Nethergoyf from coming back, and I vastly prefer Nile Spellbomb because it is a type that goes to the graveyard to buff your Goyfs. But this is the exact 75 that INF played, so I'm going to respect that, and I'm going to try to learn from what I can pick up playing these cards that I wouldn't normally play. I am increasingly impressed with Barrowgoyf. I've been a Barrowgoyf critic for a while, but I do think he's in many situations better than Murktide. So we'll see if he is better than a Murktide. Every time we cast a Barrowgoyf, we should just basically be asking, okay, would it be better if this were a Murktide? They could pitch the force that dodges Kozilek's Command, dodges Fatal Push, dodges a lot of removal, right? But on the other hand, Barrowgoyf dodges Pyroblast and stuff like that. So that's what I'm mainly looking for in this league, is seeing how good Barrowgoyf is over Murktide, because that's what you would be playing in this slot. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against a likely Delver opponent, so getting a tempo experience right off the bat. This hand's fine. It's got access to both color mana base or basics. I like to start with the Tamio, even though they're probably going to just kill it, because it gets, like, if she sticks, she immediately starts generating value. We could regret this if they're on combo, but I'm going to just go, well, if we do just swamp Thoughtseize, I don't know. It's pretty safe play. I think I'm going to swamp Thoughtseize just out of respect for them possibly being on a combo deck. That's what I would do if I had no clue what they were playing. They mulled a 6. Lends credence to them being on a combo deck. All right, let's see. Show me your secrets. So they are on Grixis. We don't care about the Wasteland. Wasteland of our own would be good. We could preserve the mystery by taking their Thoughtseize, but they can't. I mean, they could get like a Badlands, I guess. They can't have it all though. I think I'm going to take the Cory Seal, because that's definitely the best card in their hand. Lightning Bolt does answer Tamio, so that's probably what would have befallen Tamio had I just played her out. I'll do that, and then I'm just going to hope that they're probably going to Thoughtseize like our Bowmaster away if they go for Thoughtseize. Yep, and so now they're off red. And maybe leave a comment with a timestamp if you think Cory Seal was the wrong take there. That card is very powerful. The rest of their hand is just, normal interaction. Okay, they did take the Bowmaster, and I could have prevented that, but I don't think that it's really that important. Okay, so now we're in a situation where we're not doing anything, but that's fine. What I can do is I can bait out a Wasteland by just end-step surveilling. So I'll do that with this land, since this is the one land that can't get an island. I'm not going to play a Tamio into a known bolt. Maybe we should have taken the Thoughtseize. Brainstorm. Okay, so they're able to completely change their hand now. They probably don't even want to play this Wasteland. I'm going to assume they're not going to have it. They probably don't want this Daze anymore. Okay, I'm going to surveil land. I'm just looking for anything that's proactive. They have not yet fetched, so like they can keep those cards if they want to. Nethergoyf is excellent. It dodges Bolt, so I can get a basic island here if I want. I'm going to drop this. Could drop Tamio. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they just bolt. It is a 1-for-1. I think it's fine to drop her. My opponent doesn't know. Wait, they do kind of know. If this dies, it doesn't actually help me any. Worth noting, Fatal Push does increase Nethergoyf's toughness. So I could, like in theory, like Fatal Push my own creature if I really needed to buff Nethergoyf. That wouldn't be a good play. Probably. Okay, so they did they draw the card before they fetched? Okay, so they did have it. That's fine. I mean, like, I'm just trying to 1-for-1. This is fine, unfortunately. We get to look at the top card of my deck. I don't think I want them to have that information. I'm tempted to just shuffle. But if I draw a Brainstorm, I'll really regret not having that. But then again, do I even want to? Yeah, I guess I would cast a Brainstorm because I have Fatal Push up. And it would make my Nethergoyf bigger. Okay, so they get their card. They're fetching. They don't want that card on top. Okay. Another Tommy. So I'm going to go ahead and come in for a hug first. I'm going to play this land. I'll tap this land to play Tommy. That way if they waste me, they can't get me into like some sort of Daze situation. This is very good for us. The fact that they pitched the Daze. So I doubt this Wasteland's in their hand because they probably would have played it and just wasted this land by now. They're playing that land, or that bubble out. They're getting to look at one more card on my deck. So we're tempoing them with our just insane Nethergoyf. Again, I sing the praises of Nethergoyf all the time. I think he's one of the best creatures ever printed. And yeah, we're about to drop a second one, which will also be nice. We still haven't even played an instant. And we can play an instant and we can bring Nethergoyf back later if we need to. I should have tapped that. That was a misplay. It's probably not going to matter. We have just overwhelming, pressure on the board. All right, so that was a very slow start, but Nethergoyf is very good against these red decks. It's definitely the best card in our deck against them, in my opinion. Hydroblast comes in. This comes in. They do use their graveyard for Merc. I don't know that Harbinger comes in. They may not play any basics. Bring it in. Cards I think we take out. Force. And then we can take out 1 Daze on the draw. I think Force is terrible here. Oh wait, no, Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize comes out for sure. So I'll take out the Thoughtseize. I'll bring the Daze back in and I'll leave in 1 Force. 2 Forces, I guess. Is that how I want to do it? I think Shielder's Edict's worth bringing in. So yeah, maybe I'll take out one of these Forces. Force is nice for keeping you alive, but like this, we have a lot of creature interaction. Yeah, and I do like Daze in this match just because like it does come up. Even on the draw, I think Daze is fine. I think Force is worse. Okay, this hand is not exceptional. I'm not excited about it. We might not find another land. We do have Bowmaster. I don't want to keep this hand, though. I'm not going to put faith in us drawing it. This is another mulligan, unfortunately. This is a very strong keep. Interaction. I think the card we put back, we're going to put back the Underground Sea. Our deck really doesn't need anything other than basics. Like these 2 basics are going to get us where we need to go. And we're on the draw. I can't get both basics because this, sorry, my excellent friends, that was an oversight. Yeah. I mean, Daze could protect us from like them just killing us really quickly. I mean, if we put back this land, I don't think we put back the land. I am going to play the Tommy out immediately. I think Daze is the card we put back. Yeah. Okay, they have a slow start. That's good for us. I think I'm going to I could just jam Tamio, but like I'm kind of tempted to just ponder first, set up my next few cards because they're unlikely to Daze that. And if I find a Daze, like that's great. I'll put it in my hand. Okay, they're fetching. Please try to deny us this with a Daze. I'll be totally up for that. They might pyro it. That is fine. I'm glad they did that instead of going after Tommy. But that may mean they have redundant stuff that goes after Tommy too. If they have the Quarry Steel, it's pretty brutal here. Brainstorm. Okay, so they're getting a perfect Brainstorm. This fetch does give us the window of potentially Tomio and then Brainstorm to protect her. My opponent's looking at 7 cards over there. They don't have any quick plays. They're on the play. They're probably the aggressor. I think I'm just going to Tommy, and then if they kill her, it grows the Goyf. Then I can just Goyf next turn. I don't need to subject myself to Wasteland danger, and I have Fatal Push up. I think there's a good chance she dies. Goyf will be out of Fatal Push range once she's in the graveyard, or out of Bolt range, rather. And they may be reticent to push her into a potential Brainstorm. Okay. So they used the Fatal Push on her, which is great, because I didn't want them to use the push on Nethergoyf. I'm going to go Oh, I'm not going to surveil. Okay. Well, that changes things a little bit. Let's see what we draw. If we draw another, Underground Sea type land, then I'll probably just go ahead and jam. But I don't know. I'm kind of worried about just jamming. We may not find a black source, but we're not doing anything. This is always going to get wasted. Yeah, I'm just going to go for it. They could murk us, which would be terrifying. They can't daze this. It's bigger than Bolt. They've already used a Fatal Push. There are lots of cards in their deck that do deal with it, though. There's the Murk. Okay, they're going to waste this, and then Murk is stuck on the board, and I can't deal with it unless I get lucky and draw a land, and they don't have a daze. If I draw a land, I've got 2 different ways to potentially remove it before we die. Okay, Hydroblast is not what we're looking for. We're going to just chill. Hydroblast is potentially good, but it's not good here. So they are definitely racing us. I would love to Hydroblast something and then they daze, and then they don't have a daze for my Borrower or my Sheriff. I think we have to shoot the Sheriff if we get the opportunity rather than Borrow, because there's a decent chance that they do have a daze or maybe a Pyroblast. That is going to be Hydroblasted. You're welcome to counter this if you'd like. That will be your second spell for the turn. Okay, great. We did do something there. Nethergoyf is now a 4/5. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. We've got 2 shots at it. I think it makes sense to borrow here because Pyroblast won't save that. Shoot the Sheriff is a little safer. So next turn when they have blue up, we can shoot the Sheriff. Okay, wow, that worked. That's great. I love this shoot the Sheriff. I love having access to a 5th removal spell. I think that's what my blue-black tempo decks have been missing is a 5th removal spell. Because I love Brazen Borrower, and I think sometimes I just use too much of it as a crutch. 13 life. Corey, do you have another spell, like a cantrip? They do have the Fatal Push. Okay, and they do get the creature. This is bad for us for sure, because now their graveyard's full, and they are hitting us. But they are down to 3 cards, one of which is, yeah, we're not the aggressor anymore, that's for sure. I'm going to Brainstorm and try to find a land so I can bring back Nethergoyf. Kaito's pretty good, but he doesn't solve our immediate problem. Kaito back, but push back, and I am going to fetch Surveil, and then next turn we'll see if we can, yeah, because I could see people thinking oh, well, you could have pushed that. It's a 2/2, right? It doesn't feel good to push that. That's for sure. Shoot the Sheriff is definitely for the Merc. It's probably going to come down soon. That card. Yeah, it's card advantage. Can't interact with it. I think we've lost this game. I do want to surveil. Just get deeper into my deck. They found another quarry. Okay. And they've equipped that one. We're going to take 4 at least here. Yeah. I don't see how we win. Trying to think, a series of Nethergoyfs could work, but I'm just worried about the Merc. Yeah, I'm just going to take it, drop a lot in life. They've got so many bodies on the table now. So we'll surveil. Borrower is above average. Save us though. We could bounce one of these out of play, but they're going to be attacking for a lot. Sadly, I think this has to go. What we need to do is basically draw back-to-back Nethergoyfs off this Brainstorm. 2 Nethergoyfs would be pretty good. right, I'm just going to go and brainstorm. And then if we don't find anything good, we can just concede. Might have a Pyroblast in hand. Yeah. All right, good game. I'm not sure that this is a favorable matchup. It's pretty rough because of the power. You can blow up like the 0 drops or you can blow up the 2 drops. I think what we need to do is be on the play. I think that's the missing ingredient. So, but yeah, it's really anybody's ball game here in my mind. We've got, they may have Bowmasters in their list too, but what they do have is a lot of removal that's not just Bolt. Against traditional, Delver, you're not dealing with Fatal Push. I don't want to mull this. I'm going to just island and ponder, and then we're just going to hope to get there through like several ponders. I mean, this is a perfectly fine hand if we find land, but we can't play on non-basics. We have to get the basics under us. Show me a fetch that gets... Okay. I mean, this is a land. Barrowgoyf is a good late game play. Yeah, I might want to stick the Harbinger first. If Harbinger gets in, it's great for us. What I'll do is I'll just take this land now. And then, yeah, it's like one less card that can be Thoughtseize down my hand. And the next turn, what I'm probably going to do is just, ponder again and see if I can find a fetch and play that fetch out before I play this out. And if they daze that, that's okay. If they blast it, is kind of annoying. I mean, I guess I could like ponder and brainstorm to find a land if absolutely necessary if I play this out. Yeah, because I don't want them to blast my... If they do, I mean, I could just play out the land anyway and then have Hydroblast up. This feels like Pyroblast to me. This could just be like Incept Surveil. I don't actually know if they play Surveils because a lot of these tempo decks don't. Yeah, I'll feel really dumb if I ponder. I think I need the ponder to find the land. Yeah, I'll do it like this. See if we can find the fetch. Find another land. I mean, this is fine. And if they do waste us, we're just brainstorm finding land number 4. But they may not have the wasteland. I'm going to just do it like this. I'll take the Barrowgoyf before. I'll take this, and then I'll just maybe jam Barrowgoyf. Harbinger is not GG, but it's very strong. But I don't want to get Harbinger dazed. Please don't have a wasteland. Okay, yeah, they found the wasteland. All right, we're just chilling. So I am going to just wait. I'm not going to start firing these brainstorms off willy-nilly. If they just have back-to-back wastelands, it's pretty devastating, though. Okay, they do. Well, I'm going to float a blue. If they just start like dazing my brainstorms, it's pretty bad for me. We know we're not drawing a land here, but I'm just going to dig it deeper because I might be able to find a fetch. It does suck, like having a deck that can perform perfectly on 2 lands and just not being able to get those 2 lands. There we go. All right, we're fine. So what I'll do is I can put back my 3 drops, just draw them later because I've got lots of, I mean, these pushes are important. Actually, I'm not sure how important they are. I'm going to put back a push for 2 of their wastelands. I mean, what are the odds that they have a 3rd one? Maybe we don't have to fetch a basic here. We could potentially, or a blast. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, and I am going to hang on to my 3 drops with the hope that we have worked through enough of those. But I definitely want to fetch. I'll probably fetch in Surveil if they don't play out the Quarry Seal. I still have a Brainstorm to find land number 3. They're fetching. Brainstorm. They may actually be screwed on land too. There's the Bobble. They're cracking it, looking at my top. I am going to Surveil anyway. My hand is perfectly fine, and I don't want those cards on top. Yeah, they don't have a land. I'm going to press my advantage. It's great, but it's not what I'm looking for here. Yeah, I'm going to just bin it. I'm looking for a land so I can stick a Barrowgoyf. I mean, just sticking a Tomio is fine too. And then if they try to blaster, I have Brainstorm, which they'll probably daze at this point. But I'm just going to be patient with her. I will attempt to Brainstorm here. And that answers it better than... they do have the daze. Okay, so everything's crushed. Tommy's in the graveyard. They replay. And now they can play like a DRC or something around Hydroblast. We get another Brainstorm. So this is an imperfect Brainstorm. They're just digging for land, I guess. I don't think this is the right timing, but they may be worried about Bowmasters. You just have to hope they don't find land. So we have nothing going on, but that daze it's good that they daze there because if we find a land, ding, 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 we can start jamming Harbinger, which I think I am going to do. I'm going to jam Harbinger first. Do they have another daze? Or force? They'll probably force it. They have a force. Because, I mean, this is potentially devastating for them. They may be able to just play out the... okay. They can still Merc and win with that. Badlands. Okay. Okay. Good. Borrower is great. Now we have an answer to Merc. I don't think there's any... They could instant speed that one guy, Thundertrap Trainer. I'm just going to let this go. I am going to start beating them down. Then I'll Barrow. This is huge. They do have no brainstorming here. That's fine. I mean, there's a good chance they counter it. But like the main thing is like I'm just ready to deal with... Okay, they scooped. All right. That was great. So I do think that against like the 3-color version, I wouldn't bring it in against blue-red, but I think against the 3-color version, totally justified in bringing in Harbinger of the Tide. Harbinger of the Seas, rather. All right, we're up against an unknown opponent on the draw. Game 2. They've already mulliganed. This is an insane hand if they're on combo. I've played 6 rounds with this, and I've never encountered a combo deck. So I'm really hoping this is a combo deck we're up against. They're mulling to 5. This augurs well for us, but it's worth noting that like Oops All Spells can win with 5 cards with protection. So we're not in the clear. My opponent said, no lands in the first 2, so not so much the have fun part. Well, that tells me that they are most likely on some sort of fair deck, that they just have bad mulls. Ancient Tomb, okay, so Stompy-ish. I'm just going to go ahead and stick to the Thoughtseize. This could be Painter. If they have a Wasteland, we do have a backup land now. Okay, so they are on combo after all. So, yeah, I'll just take the Show and Tell, and then we have lots of interaction here. They could have Show and Telled Emrakul in, which would be very scary. Luckily, that's not likely to happen now because we've got Tamiyo coming to save us. And we have the combo, which is great. I can even Surveil. Do I want to aggressively flipper or do I want to just draw up cards? You know, they can Cunning Wish for like a removal, like a bounce spell. So I don't think I actually want to flipper. I think I just want to Surveil instead. But should they Cunning Wish to try to get her out of play, we do have the Brainstorm if we need it. Yeah, and Tamiyo's great here because, oh yeah, that's fine. We'll get to see what they get. It's crazy that you have to choose to use it. Like I can imagine accidentally clicking that and it just fizzles the spell. One of the questionable things about like the way cards are templated. The other thing is like preserving graveyard order. I'll continue to complain about that. Switch target creature's power and toughness until the end of the turn. Draw a card. Yeah, you're welcome to try that. Switch power and toughness if it's not a creature. That's a cool card though. I haven't seen that. I mean, it's just like specifically anti-Tamiyo tech. Okay, so Bowmaster's great here. We don't really need this land. But I don't have a way to shuffle. Well, I do have a way to shuffle off Ponder. I'm going to put back the land because Tamiyo can at least be a blue card for force. And I'll redraw a Ponder. And the reason I'm doing that is because if I have to force this turn for some reason, I do want to pitch the redundant Tamiyo. So that fizzles. They do get to draw a card, which won't be fine for them once Bowmasters is out. What's this? You have another Show and Tell already? Well, we can't have that. It's just like... I imagine like Daze is such a, like when you have 4 mana out, Daze has got to feel terrible. So their hand is Emrakul, and we're going to go to Tamiyo Town. Population us. Yeah, there's no reason to do anything other than just go up with Tamiyo. I do want to shuffle away this land. Because if I found a Brainstorm, I can put away Fatal Push, which is pretty stinky against their deck. It does nothing. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Ponder, let's... Fine. These cards are not what we're looking for. I can just any short order shuffle. None of those do anything. Kaito does do stuff if we get a chance. I think we've got enough time to get her up. And then when we draw half our deck and the game's over. They would have to keep drawing like Show and Tell us basically to win. Okay. So this land here. Yeah. So I can just instep Bowmasters and then I can get Kaito going. And when I put that land back, I didn't know I was going to draw a Kaito, but Kaito does make it, warrant obviously like getting a third land out because he is additional digging. They could have a Cunning Wish and they could go for another interaction spell, like a bounce spell. And I'd probably have to force that because I'm so close to winning off Tamiyo. My opponent is tapping like Ancient Tomb and stuff, so All right, so we are going to go ahead and do this. We'll ping. Okay, now we will go to Kaito Town. Barrowgoyf applies pressure pretty well too, but I think we just want Kaito for card selection. And I will be just bringing back the Orc Army. You have to be very careful, by the way, like when you do this, that you don't telegraph to your opponent that you're trying to tap. You have to make sure you're in the block step. I currently screwed up my stops. So, yeah. Okay, we'll do some damage there. I'm going to fix my stops before I forget. So I did actually only hit them for less damage than I would have, which is very embarrassing. So I'm going to remove this. The reason the stop is there because earlier I was hitting with Barrowgoyf and it was more than 3 power. It was like 4 power. So I wanted to do the 4 damage and then put Kaito in. You can do it during the damage step. No. I didn't plus. I clicked yield. That was a total misclick. Luckily, I don't think I'm yielding. Okay, good. Yeah, but I should have absolutely been able to draw a card there. So that was a punt. It's not a big deal because we're about to pound minus and draw our deck. Don't think there's anything they can do about it. Just do it. If they want to keep playing, they can keep playing. I mean, I wouldn't fault them for wanting to keep playing because I just punted so hard. All right, so what do we do here? Well, I think we just go ahead and plus here. And then I'll just attack them for a little bit more. I'm trying to think if there's any reason to do anything else. We have 3 forces in our grip. So yeah, I think we're going to be fine. Just a matter of beating them down here. I guess I could waste them. Just restrict their mana because we do have days. It's not in our hand currently, but we could. Oh yeah, we do have days in hand. Yeah, I mean there might be an argument for doing more, but I figured they were about to concede. All right, this is a positive matchup for us for sure. We have lots of things we can bring in because Disruptor Flute is great. Shield's Edict is an answer to, I mean, it's better than Fatal Push, let's put it that way. So we're taking out the 4 Fatal Push, and then we're bringing in 4 cards. I think we also take out Shoot the Sheriff. There are situations where maybe they're playing Atraxa, and we can't get rid of it, but we can get rid of it with Shield's Edict anyway. And Shield's Edict can get rid of Emrakul. It's rare that you're going to get a window to do that, but I think it's better than nothing. Consigned Memory can stop a few things. I don't think it's particularly strong. Yeah, actually, I can't really think of anything good here. Like, Engineered Explosives could blow up. This being able to shut off the uncounterability land is not nothing, and this is an additional blue card, so I'll bring it in. I think that's probably better than Consign. They could be playing the One Ring, and I'll feel like a fool. Yeah, I think I'm going to bring this in instead, and I'll just use my Wastelands to stop their uncounterability lands. They have a Mysterized Village now. Oh, I don't need an Alice Spellbomb. That's terrible. I think I'll bring in a Harbinger in that place. I don't think we have a lot of tools for this matchup, but pretty favorable matchup. We're a Daze Wasteland Thoughtseize deck. This hand is great. Let me tell you why. Barrowgoyf. Barrowgoyf is freaking insane when you drop him turn 1 and you just keep beating them down. Like, Barrowgoyf damage scales so quickly because we just drop this. We'll drop this. We'll fetch next turn, and we'll also ponder. That's fine. I mean, there's a world in which we get both ponder and land and brainstorm into the yard, and we do 3 damage next turn. I want to save this for a surveil though, or just in case we draw another blue card, or like a duel or something. I don't. But at the same time, if we play this out, then our opponent has to kind of respect that we could have force. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Or days, rather, is what I meant to say. Yeah. So we only have 1 point of interaction currently, but our opponent doesn't know that. And they probably can safely presume that we wouldn't keep a hand that didn't have any interaction. Like, you just don't do that against combo decks generally. You kind of have to assume that they could have like a really fast hand and be prepared. So this Misty may indicate that they are playing green. That's fine. They're going to get a perfect brainstorm here. So by being completely creatureless, you're turning off your opponent's removal, but you're also giving them permission to basically board out all the removal and board in good stuff. So it's advantageous game 1, but for games 2 and games 3, it doesn't really matter if you're playing purely creatureless. Like, I almost never go even close to creatureless in my decks. I love creatures. Okay, this is great because we can drop another beater. I'm going to start by a pondering. This is the harder. Oh, this is so good. Yeah, I think we're going to take all this. I want to shuffle away the Wasteland, but I don't want to shuffle away the Ponder. Actually, I don't care that much about the Ponder. I'm just going to Wasteland him. I think this needs to happen now. No, I'll keep the Ponder. Yeah, I think it's worth keeping around. So we'll Thoughtseize him first. Note that we're not going to do maximum damage here. So they are all dressed up, but nothing to put in. I still think it's got to be the show and tell here. Like if they spend turns like stocking up and stuff, those are turns we're hitting them in the face. If they fetch a duel, we could wait on the Wasteland. I think they're pure blue. Stock up's fine. I'm not going to use my interaction on spells like stock up. I realize it's a good card, especially in the context of what their deck does. I can get them an enabler and a payoff. But a lot of times it just gets some cantrips, which just gives us more time. Okay, so I can safely shuffle away that Wasteland, I believe. Take the Ponder. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. I'm going to cast a couple of spells before I attack, max damage. I could hold up, if I surveil, I might be able to surveil a creature into the graveyard. They could have Spell Pierce though, if they're playing mono blue. Yeah, I'm going to respect the potential for Spell Pierce here. I'm just going to, I can't really do that, can I? I can't really respect Spell Pierce with the current configuration. I'm going to brainstorm and see what I find. This is a suboptimal brainstorm, but it does make the Goyf bigger. Okay, Barrowgoyf is not actually a big deal really at all. I don't think it's even necessarily worth playing. We're going to redraw these though, so I guess I'll keep it. I'm not excited about Barrowgoyf. I'm going to drop the Nethergoyf. I mean, you could argue that we should just ponder pairs with Force, because we might be able to find another Force effect or lineup, or we could just shuffle those bad cards. Yeah, I'll do it that way. So this is not necessarily a suboptimal brainstorm, because we already have all the mana we need. All right, Nethergoyf number 3 is better than Barrowgoyf, because life gain doesn't matter. This would be a 3/4. Yeah, it's the same toughness. Yeah, well, I'm just going to swing in. Basically, we just have to close the game before they can interact meaningfully. We are applying a lot of pressure. So this turn we're attacking for, so next turn we're attacking for 6 and they're dead. So playing this Nethergoyf actually doesn't change the clock at all. They're dead in 2 turns. So I just hope I don't have to use this brainstorm, because I'd much rather play something else that's more impactful. I mean, they could have like Echoing Truth in their sideboard, which would get rid of both of these. Barrowgoyf could potentially flip like a Tamio, and then we have a blue card for Force negation. I can't justify playing them out. But I think, yeah, maybe actually it was correct to keep one of those lands, because then at least I'd have a surveil. I'm not feeling safe though, that's for sure. And there is a risk. This deck does have a pretty low blue count. It's like 22, and I usually play like 24, 25. Because when you trade Murktide for a Barrowgoyf, you do hit situations like that. They're passing with no play. Let's see a blue card. All right. So we do have double Force now. Yeah, I'm just going to hold up double Force. I'm not going to get fancy. And they're dead pretty quickly. Yeah, and this is why Nethergoyf is so good. Like, he's 1 mana, just done a lot of damage so far. Even if they bounce one of them out of play, they still got to contend with the other one. I'm just going to let this happen. This is mana they're spending. And if they spend mana on the show and tell, that's mana they don't have to interact with my stuff. Oh, Omniscience. Yeah, you can have one. So that means they have show and tell. But do they have 2 forces? Or a Spell Pierce and a Force? We shall see. So if they pierce this, I'll just let it go and then I'll Force. And sure enough, they do have the Pierce. Okay. I'm not going to pay for it. Now I'm going to attempt a Force here. They may have a Force, but they will have to pitch a card. They do have the Force. Okay, so we're dead. They have Omniscience. What is their other card? I'm going to put a Barrowgoyf in. He's bigger. They have to cantrip into a win. Cunning Wish. Okay, I think they win. So they just get like Firemind Foresight. Or they get Shared Summons and they cast stuff. Yeah, that sucks. They had exactly what they needed. We're able to, but I definitely feel it was correct to hold up the stuff. Let's see. Yeah, we're dead. Like 15. Yeah, we're not going to be able to get through that because they get an extra turn to attack. Okay. So now we get to be able to play. I think our hand, like everything worked out fine. I'm like perfectly happy with the game. They just had to have it. So we're going to try again. I think everything's fine. Barrowgoyf is just a really expensive Nethergoyf, basically. I wish some of these cards were relevant. I think this might be a blind spot in INF sideboard, or he just doesn't care about this matchup and he just thinks it's favorable. And again, I think it is favorable, but it would be nice to have more cards to bring in. Yeah, I mean, like every single land they played was an island. There's no way that Harbinger is good. But he is something that beats face, and he is blue, so I'm going to leave him in. None of these other cards do anything. I didn't see any Carpet of Flowers. I didn't see anything. I didn't see the One Ring. So I think it's just true, like Omnitell, like old school style. This hand is not good enough, in my opinion. It's fine. It's just it doesn't spark joy. This is much better. We are definitely relying on this brainstorm to do some work, but we do have Bowmasters. We have a consign which might help. I think I'm going to keep this and I'm going to put back Harbinger as our second blue card. I think it's unnecessary. I mean, it's literally in the deck to be a blue card that we pitched it for, so I don't think it'll come up. Yeah, I'm just going to do this and then I'm going to wait a turn just because the risk of whiffing on this brainstorm is pretty huge. There's definitely a risk that this brainstorm just totally whiffs and we're without land. And then if for some reason we don't whiff and we get like, whoa, or if we just draw it off the top, then Bowmaster Town, population of us. Okay, I'm going to brainstorm here. And do we lose? We don't lose. Okay, so we have days now in addition. So I'll put this back. That's a huge relief, by the way. I'll just put this Goyf on top. And we don't have a lot going on, but we do have another Goyf. 2 points of interaction. One of them is soft remission, but they're probably not going to be able to immediately win. And given that Nethergoyf doesn't really get any bigger, yeah, that's fine. Given that Nethergoyf doesn't really get any bigger, I do think we start jamming. We probably want to jam Bowmasters next turn instead. And then if they force that or somehow interact with it, it's out. I don't think this consign is going to matter for anything other than pitching to force negation. But you see what I'm saying? Like, we put the Orcish Bowmaster on the stack. They counter it. Okay, they countered it. At least Nethergoyf sitting for 2. I think dropping the other Nethergoyf not as useful as just doing that, like main phasing it. It does give them a window where they can... I mean, we hold up consign. How useful is that? Yeah, I mean, they have to have the brainstorm exactly here. They have Ponder. It's not very useful. Okay, we're in. We hit them. I'm just like the world's slowest beatdown has started. I don't feel good about our position, but we did hit. Neither of the hands were good, but this hand was not atrocious, and we did find the land. So now their cantrips are uncomfortable. Stock up. I will probably daze just because, it's something proactive. I don't know. That's great. That's great for us that they're choosing a brainstorm into this. It takes a mana off their turn, and if they get antsy and just try to go for it, we do have days this turn. They can kind of ignore the damage because they're a combo deck. They're a very powerful deck that can win even when we have like a ton of pressure on the table. But this augurs very well for us. They essentially did 6 damage to themselves just over the course of one turn cycle just to get this. And then, of course, that damage is going to remain on the board for each turn. They are getting a perfect brainstorm, though. They can shuffle away bad cards, probably cantrips at this point. Okay. Playing the Nethergoyf even important. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we hit him for 5. 6. I think I'm just going to keep this up as a Spell Pierce. Because if Spell Pierce is their protection, we can evade that, and we're just not going to cast any more spells for the rest of the game. So I think we're favored from here. They're dead on board. They're not quite dead on board. Actually, yeah, they get an extra turn because we didn't play with another Nethergoyf. This is fine. Again, I do think it's going to come down to stack interaction here. Consign could, in theory, stop an Emrakul trigger, But we still wouldn't be able to win unless they fetch or something to get themselves lower. We're at 20 life. We could consign a... we don't want them to get the ETB trigger, the on-cast trigger of getting an extra turn either, though. Yeah, it's unfortunate that, like, I didn't plan another Goyf because they are going to get this. Do I want to just daze this? They can't force, actually. They can't currently force. Daze is currently on. They can't spell pierce. I think I'm going to just cast this. I'll just straight up cast it. Deny them a draw. Or deny them the stock up. And if they force back, they're dead. They do force back. Okay, they're dead. Right? Yeah, you can stock up. You're going to need like a bunch of petals. Because I'm hitting him for 6. Play an Ancient Tomb. Okay, yeah, good game. Yeah, I mean, sometimes they showed the hand. Let's see if we can tab back to the hand. I don't think it will let us. I think I already closed it. But I did see like forces in there. So I think they would have been able to potentially muscle their way through. If you want, you can like step back a few frames and you can see what they had in their hand. So you can round 3. We're 2-0. Round 3, we're up against an unknown opponent. We're on the play, so we don't get the information as to whether they're going to mulligan. I like this hand. It's just because I like Tomio, and we can like play Wasteland. We can play an Underground Sea and potentially get them to waste us. Non-consequentially, if they remove Tomio, we have a backup one. If this is a fair matchup, this is a good hand. If this is an unfair matchup, this is a bad one. I'm going to hope it's a fair one. Of course, it depends on the type of fair one. If it's a fair, Caracas matchup, then that's not good. If they're like playing like Maverick or something, we're pretty screwed. But I feel like I've like kind of laid out my bait. Okay, Trop. That's good for us. This might be Beans. We have a good Beans matchup. This could be Nadu, though. They did shuffle. Okay. So Wasteland would probably be good if we drew it. But I'd rather not draw another land. Okay, Brazen Borrower. Not bad. We can probably just surveil. I don't think they're likely playing like Blood Moon or... they may be playing Wastelands, but I don't care because they've got so much land and I can just go get basics later if I want to. I'm going to surveil this turn. And then I'll probably just save this clue for later. We'll see what they do. I'll be really bummed if they have up the Beanstalk, and I'll probably actually crack just to draw. They're going to get a perfect Brainstorm though. And again, if they kill her, it's a 2-for-1 already because we already got the clue. This is what I love about Tomio. Is like you put her down and it's all upside from there, as assuming you can get that first attack in. Okay, they're not doing anything. My instinct is just to surveil and leave the clue on the table. Actually puts, cards in our graveyard to fuel another Goyf for Barrowgoyf. I do like this card. They have 7 cards in their hand. Yeah, they could actually be on Omnitell. It's just like blue-green Omnitell. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. Okay, so I think first things first, I am going to come in for a hug. All right. Post-combat, let's go ahead and just play. And I'll just Thoughtseize them. They're fetching. Please tell me you don't have main deck Veil. They may just Brainstorm here. I don't think they're on Nadu. They haven't played anything. Okay, now I think they're on Beans. Okay, wow, they let that resolve. All right, so they are on Tempo. Probably just Beanstalk. It probably like the so here's gives me Beanstalk vibes, but I think we take Shield's Edict. Man, I could have freaking Kaito this turn. What's wrong with me? It didn't even occur to me that I could do that. I do think we probably want to take the Bowmasters because Shield's Edict, they can use it. And there's not a lot we can do about it. Yeah. Because they can get it back. But it's a few turns before they get it back. Yeah, I'm just going to take the... And they're being disciplined. They're not playing their Bowmaster first. So they may think I have a Bowmaster because of the way I'm holding up cards. Yeah, I'm going to take the Shield's Edict. And I guess now is a good time to go ahead and crack because we don't have to worry. But that does tell them like, oh, you can... Well, they don't have any more removal. Okay, let's not overthink this. I think what we do is we just go ahead and crack now so we don't have to worry about Bowmasters. And then Bowmasters is a 1-for-1. Okay, got another land. Not really what we want to see. They do have a third land. They can cantrip around. We need to get this Kaito on the table now. But that, like, by taking this, I might have telegraphed to them that I had Kaito. Okay. I'm hoping that they do a bunch of stuff that taps them out of Bowmaster, so I get at least one turn where I can Kaito Surveil without having Bowmasters pinging. Because then Kaito will be mana neutral as well. Okay, this is good. I mean, it like, as far as good things that can happen, this is good. It's not great, obviously, because like now their forces, they have a force. But this does mean that we get Kaito attack. All right. Oh my goodness, drawing so many lands. So I think I'm going to play this one out, and then I can surveil later. So we'll go ahead and come in for a hug, and we'll just, but like the next land, and they can get back there. Okay, and I need to play fast. This could easily come down to clock, but I do think we're favored versus Beans. So they can't counter that. They can stifle it if they have a stifle. Okay, we're going to connect. I'm just going to go ahead and surveil here. I guess I could have played one of these Underground Seas. I don't like either of these cards. I mean, actually, the Brainstorm can flip Tamio. And we have a second Tamio. So, yeah, I'll just play one of the Tamios out. And if they want to force this, that's fine. So this is where Thoughtseize is just incredible because we can play around this. This is so good for us. I mean, I can understand why they're doing this, but it's so good for us that they just did this. Also, it's funny the log says that I forced for some reason. I did not just force. That was my opponent. And I'm going to just start plussing, I think, when I attack in, because they're probably going to go ahead and be for me here. Okay, wasting us. That's great for us because we want to restrict their mana, and we're kind of artificially restricting their mana. This is probably Bowmaster's main phased, which is fine. It sucks because I've got this Brainstorm in my hand. It's not that big a deal. I play with the Tamio. Tamio is a blocker. I could just bounce the... Yeah, man. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and... I guess I could bounce that out and then I could plus, and I'm dealing pretty decent damage there. They have Spell Pierce, but I have the mana. I'm going to go ahead and do this. If they try to Spell Pierce this, I'll just pay. There's a risk that they have like a Murktide, but I can stun it now. I just don't want them to have the material to be able to block. That's great. Now I'm just going to come in for a hug. And then I will play a Tamio, which they cannot Spell Pierce. And then I'll just chill. And like in some incredibly catastrophic situation, I could always Brainstorm, but I don't want to. And we're really like on the Kaito train here. They're pushing, that's fine. I'm not going to Brainstorm into that. So they can attack here, but it's just one loyalty. What they need to do is find a fetch so they can put Shield Rosedic back on top so they can use Shield Rosedic here. But by the time they've done that, I'll have Brazen Borrower out and potentially be hitting them for a lot. This is a problem, but we may be able to find our own. If they have a second one, it's really bad. Okay, that's not good for us, but it's not the end. Again, we might be able to win the game without really casting any more spells. Oh no, they did it. They put the Shield Rosedic on top. That's what they're going to do here. No? Okay. I think that was a misplay. If they have the Mystic Sanctuary in the deck, you definitely want to put Shield Rosedic on top. They should attack Kaito. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm just going to plus him and hit him for 5 and further reduce their life total. Kaito can be used as an offensive creature. That is totally fine. Yep, I'll just plus him first. And I'm going to attempt to swing in. And because they have Spell Pierce and a lot of other stuff, I am going to go ahead and play this out. We haven't been able to cash in these clues. I'm going to drop this. And I think I'm tempted to just play this out, but they could... I mean, this doesn't represent death yet. I could just do it during their turn. I'm worried that they have another land or that they draw a force. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Maybe that's wrong because now they have a very good Bowmaster target, but yeah, and this is kind of just how you do it. Like this is tapped. That's great for us. So now it's like just one less mana they have. And we could have just stunned a Murktide because Kaito is really strong. His defense, he has one of the best defensive abilities of any Planeswalker. Almost every Planeswalker is going to have a +1 ability that does something good, and then maybe a 0 ability, and then a minus ability that kind of doubles as a defensive mechanism. Okay, so against Beans, they're a 3-color deck, so this is a very good card here. I do like this card. I mean, I can see why this is in the sideboard. It's not a great card in my humble opinion. I'm not like a big fan of it, but Sheoldred's Edict it does deal with Merc. And then we cut out some of the pushes. I take 2 pushes, and on the draw, we could cut Dazes. Yeah, Daze is not great. We are pressuring them a little bit, but I think this game's going to go pretty long. Is that right? I think it is. We still have the 1 days in. I'm not taking Force out. Force is important, and Null Spellbomb's good too, because they do use Merc. This hand's pretty much exactly what we want to see. We've got 2 lands. We can play on basics. We can get our swamp and our island. We can waste them. And then we have both Sheoldred's Edict for their Merc, and we have Orcish Bowmasters. If they've been a land, I won't waste them. If they've been a non-land, I will waste them. They kept it. I think I'm just going to waste. We don't have anything to put on the table right now. And this might screw them up a little bit. Like, even if it just keeps them, like, color screwed for a few turns, that's good for us. If I had another Goyf, I would definitely play that first. Or Tamio. I'd play any 1-drop before it. But we have the odd, hand that doesn't have 1-drops. They're brainstorming main phase. This is a weird play. Unless they have Lorien Revealed, then they could upkeep Lorien Revealed. A lot of decks have gotten off of Lorien Revealed, but I think Lorien Revealed is maybe better than Bargain. Rakshas's Bargain, the new card. Okay. So, I think I just play this out, and I could just ponder. I don't hate pondering since they are a Beanstalk deck. I don't hate getting a basic either. I guess I could play this out and kind of goad them into wasting me potentially and reducing their lands further. Yeah, I think I'll do that. These are great. These are excellent. I don't want the sewers. I'll put this in my hand next turn, and I will take this. And then, assuming they don't waste us too many times, we should be able to grab Swamp and then Island, and then color screw them for the rest of the game. By all means. Okay, so we do have the 3rd land on top. Okay, this will be interesting to see what they take. Probably the Bowmaster is the strongest thing, but they'll see the 2 lands. If they have a Murktide, they're going to take the Sheoldred's Edict. And that will be a sign to me that I need to hurry up, because Murktide will race whatever we got going on, even though it's just going to be a 5/5. The card they took is Sheoldred's Edict, so we can be very confident that they have Murktide in their hand, because why else would you take Sheoldred's Edict? It doesn't make any sense. So this means that I do want to go ahead and ponder. I think I want to Island Ponder here instead of Nether Goyfing. If I Nether Goyf, we are applying pressure. We get the first hit. We're going to take at least 2 hits, I think, if we don't ponder now. If I ponder now, I'm also getting in underneath the Bowmaster. I think I'm just going to ponder. I know that might seem like weird and kind of cowardly, but I don't want to lose to a Murktide. We have several answers for Murktide in our deck. I want to find one. These are pretty damn good, assuming they don't just Merc immediately. If they do Merc immediately, then Nullspell does nothing, and these Wastelands are probably non-consequential. So we can shuffle away one of them. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a Nullspell sandwich. If they don't Merc, I'll just play Nullspell next turn and hit their graveyard. But I think they're most likely going to Merc here. But the fact that I kept this, maybe that deters them from Mercing. Nope. Did I read them right or what? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to have to Delta here, shuffle, because we don't want to draw any more of these cards. We do get a redraw and then I'll Spellbomb. It's not good. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm tempted to Surveil here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and, what do I want to do? I guess I Nether Goyf and I now Spellbomb this turn. I'm going to go get a Swamp. Dangerous. So this does grow this. If we find a Barrowgoyf, that's quite good. We do have a 3rd land, but they could have days. I would love to cut them off this. They may not have any more land. They may be completely banking on the Murktide plan. It's a plan I've used a lot as a Beanstalk player myself. We can survive 2 more swings. Okay, that's good, because that means, but if they have Bowmaster, it's annoying, because then we're like one turn away. Okay, so I think this is fine. We should let it happen. We can't do anything about it. Hopefully they take the Bowmaster. Okay, now this is getting almost as big as this. Actually, yeah, we correct the Spellbomb. No, Spellbomb, we'd have to exile our own graveyard. If we exile that, it grows this, and then it's a 2-turn clock. That's not good. That's really not good. We're really screwed here. Oh no. Yeah, we draw terrible. I wish I could get this in my graveyard without actually exiling graveyard, but it's a required. All right, I'm gonna do it, and I am gonna draw the card. It sucks because we're going there, Goyf. Yeah, that doesn't help. Okay, so they're at 6. So let's see. If we bowman, they could have a daze. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So we're not gonna win the race though, because we just gave them the extra point of damage. I don't regret doing that. We do need to proactively look for an answer. If we find a Tomio, we can win with that. They'd have to have removal. If they do something dumb, frankly, like if they cast a cantrip or something, the clock flips a little bit, but it probably doesn't flip enough. Yeah, I think we're probably dead here. I don't think it's due to any misplays on our part. So we have like basically like 5 or 6 outs. Well, maybe like 8 outs if they don't have removal. Okay, they do have Shielder's Edict. All right, so my instinct here is to just... They probably have a cantrip in hand. If we drop this, it's not going to matter. We're not going to kill them anyway with another Goyf. I don't think. Like if we would have to chain multiple Tamios. Let's think about it. There's no draw that saves us. Another Goyf. So Kaito does save us, and it can't even be countered. And that will save us long enough to win. So I think we just dropped that another Goyf here. Come on, Kaito, or something other than that. Yeah, that doesn't do it. Yep, that's a bummer. We did our best. We get to be on the play this time. Harbinger would have been okay there. I don't know that they have basic swamp in their deck. We are going to bring Daisies back in. So cards that come out here, I mean, I'm tempted to take these other 2 Fatal Pushes out. I don't think it's good enough. Like we have answers to flip Tommy, and Brazen Borrower and Shielder's Edict. Like the deck that I've been, like my deck, I think it has 2 Shielder's Edict now. I think Shielder's Edict is really good right now. Yeah, I'm going to do that. All right, so Unlicensed Hearse would be a great opener card. It's not actually that great because they have... wait, this is good. This is good. So go ahead and Thoughtseize them. And then next turn, I can Tomio with Brainstorm back up. Yeah, this is fine. Thoughtseize is really important because you take their beans and then you figure out what their plan is. And if they have Wasteland, they're going to need 2 Wastelands probably. So they don't have Wasteland. I do have Fatal Push for my Tomio. They have their own Tomio. Bowmasters is kind of annoying. But if we just Tomio and then flip Tomio, that answers that. But what's likely to happen is they're likely to go ahead and cast Tomio now if we don't do anything and we don't have a quick answer to her. She can kind of take over the game. I do think that the take is Tomio here. Yeah, I'm going to take Tomio. And I totally understand if you disagree with the take, leave a comment with a timestamp if you think that I should have taken Bowmaster or something more impactful. I think Tomio will be impactful is what I'm saying. They already have the Brainstorm to flip her. Okay, I don't understand this reasoning. They're trying to get it out of their hand before my Bowmaster comes down, I guess. But it doesn't feel good. I do think I'm going to maybe just Tomio and immediately flip her with a Brainstorm. And maybe that baits the force. I don't actually want to flip her. I don't care. But I don't want to deal with Merc. Okay, so the options now, we could drop the Goyf and the Tomio. Or what we could do is we could drop this, surveil deeper into our deck, play a Goyf. No, I think I'm going to go ahead and Tomio and Brainstorm Flipper. I know that's weird because I'm always like, oh yeah, I got value off that Tomio, but yeah, maybe this gets them to do something desperate where they're just like, oh, I can't deal with the flip Tomio. They may just have the Shielder's Edict. They may play 2. All right, this is good. I don't want this. I want to hide Barrowgoyf from Thoughtseize because Barrowgoyf can race a Merc. Maybe that's why INF is playing Barrowgoyf because it does race Merc. Surprisingly. My opponent says cracking the relic gave him a chance. I think this was a few minutes ago. And I was just answering that I wanted to get deeper into my deck and I didn't want to just sit around because like there were lots of things that would have stopped me from being able to race there. I definitely deliberated over it. Yeah, they said Edict was already in hand. Okay, so I was just like discussing it. Okay, so this is a force on their Beanstalk. I was just saying, I appreciate you telling me you had the, what was the card? Okay, so I think I just force here. This Borrower is an answer to a Merc. They do have a Merc in their hand. The Merc will also trigger the bump. Yeah, I think I'm going to force here, and I'm going to try to, I can regrow the Thoughtseize. They do have a Bowmaster in hand, though. I just think things are so bad if this resolves. I like at least make them fight it a little. Okay, so I can't Thoughtseize. Oh, yeah, this is the Barrowgoyf I knew about. So they didn't counter that. They do Fatal Push, though. So I think I need to get them to kill Nethergoyf. And then I have Barrowgoyf to follow. And I can surveil this turn. Yeah. I think this is the way. And this also, like, they may try to push this out of the way. And if they don't, I don't really have a lot of recourse, unfortunately. So I told my opponent, I'm always recording when I play, and they said, hi, YouTube. They said they're new to Legacy. Okay, Trop. This is the Fatal Push, I hope. This is the Bowmaster. Okay, that's fine. That hits Tommy. I'm just going to use Nethergoyf as a shield. This does mean that I can't ultimate her. But it does also mean that I can minus Thoughtseize and take... So if I minus, then she dies. So I'm going to surveil here. We're going to hope to hit a Bowmaster of our own. My opponent says they came from Pauper. Okay, so we hit the Bayou, and then we drop the Barrow, and then we hope they don't draw another black source. I guess. I'm not crazy about that plan. I think it's better than doing nothing, and that allows us to keep taking up our Tamio here, because Barrowgoyf at this point will definitely race. Just in case they drew, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this like this. Unfortunately, this does, like, I don't want to get dazed is the thing. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. Now I'm gonna plus, and I can attack with another Goyf now. Wow, this hand like really worked out. So they still have the Merc, but it's not going to do anything. Like, I mean, it'll be able to, of course, attack Tamio. Okay, the Lorien revealed. So they are going to go get a black source, but they don't have Revolt, so they can't kill this yet. They have Beanstalk now. That's good for them. So Merc will cantrip now. And they do have, if they can get Revolt, they can kill Barrowgoyf next turn. I am going to gain some life. But our position is not great anymore. All right, let's see if we rip. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Let's go ahead and do it. I might actually do it twice, depending on what they show me. Okay, so they have cut and push. So I think I just take both of those and keep. I mean, Bargain gives them a ton of cards. It doesn't answer my Barrowgoyf, and that's like the game object that matters right now, in my humble opinion. It's like the cut. Now, they're not going to know what's going to happen here. They probably won't block the Nethergoyf. Yeah, I'll just attack with this and gain some life here. Because I do want to be able to defend. Okay, they did do that. So we gain some life. So their hand is Wasteland, which does turn on Revolt. I do need to go ahead and get rid of this. And it may seem crazy that I'm not going after Bargain. That's going to draw them a ton of cards. But they can't both bargain and do like other consequential stuff during this turn cycle. I mean, I probably should have cracked in with Nethergoyf. I think that was probably loose because they would have only been able to do one loyalty to her, and she gains back 2 loyalty a turn. So they probably waste and then they bargain is my thinking, but it would be smart to bargain first. I'm hellbent. I can't just minus her again to get, like, this game is all about Barrowgoyf in my mind. Okay, so they have 1 unknown, and then they're going to have a lot of unknowns here. They're going to have 3 unknowns. What? They drew it another one? Oh, that's so frustrating. That sucks. Yeah, like, I mean, what can I do? That probably cost us the game. Like, the fact that they drew it. I shouldn't say cost us the game, but that's probably the game. Okay, so now they have bargain up. I could take that. Just take a blue card. No, blue card isn't good enough. I'm kind of thinking of taking the bargain, and then this is up in front. Because bargain's going to be so good for them. They're getting further. They're getting closer to their end game. the desired endgame. There's a chance that they just have so much gas in their hand. If I plus for another turn, I've got double, return, but they could find a Shielders Edict. I think I'm going to go ahead and just get this Thoughtseize. It sucks. And then next turn, I'll potentially have a blue card to go with this Force. But again, forcing is not good because like pretty much anything I try to do, they are going to be able to. They said, yeah, I misplayed. They may have misplayed. I don't know. Like I would have done a ton of damage there with another Goyf. Should have cut before Wasteland. Yeah. Draw land, then bargain. Yeah, I mean that is the misplay. I think they are like shout out to you for identifying that. Like it took me a moment to occur, for me to like figure out like what they meant by I misplayed. If they played out the land that we know about, so their hand is one unknown, and we can start cracking in with. Oh, that's so good. Now we have force up. I am going to just start attacking. If they have a Bowmaster, they can potentially take her out. No, they can't. 4-1 my last league. That's great. Okay, I'm going to try to not chat too much just in case this game does go long. Like, it could go long. Okay, they're fetching. Now they can get cutback or Roxas's bargain, and I'll have to force it. So they're probably going to get bargain back. Yeah, so they get a card. I go down 2 cards. They get a card, even though I forced their spell. That sucks. But I think that's what we have to do. We just have to hope that Netherwolf can get us there. This is a terrible situation for sure. So I do force before they get the card just to ensure that they don't get the actual effect. Yeah, and now my hand is empty again. But if I find like a Bowmaster, it's pretty good. So they did get their 1 card. Gets debuffed. Do they have... Yeah, there's no reason to do that. I think they just didn't remember correctly that I'd plussed. Okay, this is good for us. I'm going to plus. Yeah, they said, but he's never blocking, and they are 100% correct. You should never block with him. But guess what? I'm about to put him in a situation where he has to block. I'm so glad this came down before the next Wasteland. This might get forced if they have forced blue card. Okay, I think we might win now because they are under a lot of pressure. Merc can't really race here. Barrowgoyf. What the hell? Now they have their Barrowgoyf? Okay, and unfortunately, there's nothing in my graveyard that does anything here. That just totally ends the game. It totally flips the script here. Yeah, I can't get back anything. I'm gonna double block him back. I mean, it sucks, but that's all plus here, and then they're gonna gain a ton of life. I think that Barrowgoyf flips the game. See this? I mean, I guess I could have minus there because I'm not gonna be like ultimating, but like if they shield or Zedic that'll be really sad because I won't have gotten any value. I definitely think we're favored here. It's just that like them finding that murder's cut was absolutely crucial after I made the disciplined plays of like Thoughtseizing twice. Okay, that's a land. That's good. It's good for us that they're drawing lands. They could start Lorien revealing though. Okay, I'm just going to double luck here. They both die because of the way that Death Touch works. It's a 5/6 and these are 4/5s. Yeah, it's still worth it. I'll just bring them back next turn. I have no choice. If they have a Fatal Push or something, this game's over. Because they can kill both of them. Yeah, they have the Fatal Push. Such a beating. My goodness. It's just absolute devastation. Like, they had exactly what they needed. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to be tilted. My opponent's very nice. But like, this is, like, extreme bad luck. And I'm going to go ahead and fetch to Thin because I don't want to cast a Brainstorm anyway. Brainstorm would be death if I drew it. Just grab this swamp, I guess. Just in case the game goes on even longer. Okay. We need like a Barrowgoyf for our own or Shoot the Sheriff deals with this. I think I just do it and then I plus again. Do you have a force? They don't have the mana of the Hardcast Force. Spell Pierce would do it. Okay, thank goodness. All right, I'm just going to plus. I'm not going to get something back here because I don't want to lose that much loyalty. I guess, wait. Let's see for next turn. I'll just regrow Shoot the Sheriff for next turn. And I'll let them Bowmaster my guy. So you can ult. I mean, I could have done that. Actually, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that was kind of dumb. I figured they might have another one in hand. Actually, that's a lie. I just didn't think about that. Yeah, if I ult, I think I'm probably fine. Okay, so they come in. They're not going to be playing Kaito, I don't think. I tried playing Kaito and Beanstalk. It's just not good enough. Okay, So now I can plus, and I can start bringing this back. I'm gonna plus here. Then I'm just going to bring my dude back. Barrowgoyf. Go 1, 2, 3. No, we need a sorcery, I think. Is that enough? All right, he's back. We got a blocker. Part of me is like time pressure panicking a little bit because like their deck just has so much removal. They're able to brainstorm there. Because like I think it's very likely they just have fun Merc. I have shoot the sheriff for Merc, but they could also find a force, and they're going to get a card off Merc whether it gets killed or not. They're due for a Merc at this point. Also, if they have like a way to like daze this back into hand and then get the get back Murder's Cut or something, that's catastrophic. Okay, land. All right. Don't do anything consequential here. Please don't do anything consequential here. Thoughtseize. All right, they're going to be able to take my shoot the sheriff here, but I am going to be beating them down again. Okay, so that puts another. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to attack here, and then I'm going to bring back the other one. They've got one card in hand. I can just get to shoot the sheriff back again. I think I'm going to do that. They have another one. They do have another one. What is this? This bargain? Oh, yeah. Force. Okay, that sucks. All right, you get a card. I'm going to come in for a hug. I can't use my brainstorm now. They don't know that I have this in hand. I might, if I can clear that somehow by some miracle. They can't really attack her if they don't have a creature. I can bring back another Nethergoyf. Like there's so many things they could draw here that just end the game. This entire game is brought to you by this Up the Beanstalk. It's drawn on like 6 cards. And I believe I did work to try to stop it. Okay, Witherbloom Command, that's fine. They can gain some life here and survive for a turn. Okay. They did get rid of her eventually. That's fine. Okay, so they're not blocking. All right. So hopefully I can get a crack in here. All right, and I'm just going to go straight for the Bowmaster here. I'm going to play this out. Let's do it. Do you have another force? That was so freaking close. I don't know what they could have here. GG's. Oh my goodness. That was an incredible match. My opponent, I just want to shout them out. They said they're new to Legacy. Like they're playing really well. So Nighthawk Rex, look out for this new player on MTGO. See you in round 4. My opponent noted that they had a force in hand and they were unsure of whether it was correct to Witherbloom me. I think Witherblooming me was fine there. I think that the game wasn't getting any better. And I can totally understand why they did what they did. Yeah, I think the force, had they held up force? Yeah, but the game doesn't get any better. Maybe I just draw a land, but I just hit them for 4. You know what I'm saying? And then now they have to jump with their Bowmaster and they're holding up force. I mean, like by the time they try to cast the Witherbloom the subsequent turn, yeah, maybe leave a comment if you have a strong opinion as to whether they should have held up force there or just tried to get rid of my Tamio, because my Tamio was generating value the entire game. The entire reason I was in that game was because Tamio recurred like 4 lands, or for like Thoughtseize 2 times, recurred Shoot the Sheriff twice. She's just an amazing card. All right. So yeah, I'm going to get some sleep and I'll come back and finish these. These have all been tight, intense, fun games though. And I'm having a great time. I love this deck. See you in round 4. Round 4, we're up against a likely breakfast player. I'm going to turn my mic down a little bit since my kids are awake. I could talk a little louder. Okay. So that should all get normalized out. Anyway, this opponent has been playing Sneak Attack most recently. I think this is a keep. We can Thoughtseize them, which is the best thing you can do against a Sneak Attack opponent. Unless they're on Sneak and Show. So particularly vulnerable. They could have a Flusterstorm or something like that. They do have 2 Omniscience in the deck, most likely. Okay, there's Thundering Falls. Okay, so the great news is they're tapped out, and we are going to get a clean Thoughtseize here. Then I can drop probably both Ponder. I'll probably just Ponder to try to find another Thoughtseize, but I do want to go ahead and crack their hand open right now, because they could just win. Daze would be great. Force would be welcome. Okay, we didn't get either. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and come in with the Thoughtseize here. Okay, and here I think we just want to take Force. The reason is it's going to take them a while to deploy these, and Force does give them a protection spell for our protection spell. They didn't keep the top card, so there is a decent chance that, yeah, I'll take the force. And if they brainstorm, that's okay. If they stock up, that's okay. Hopefully I'll get a daze by then. They do have 4 lands. And the one in play, my opponent just told me they're 4-0. They'd love to go 5-0. Wouldn't we all? I am not going to I'm not going to yield. All right. Good luck. Okay, so yes. If they have it, they just have it. Unfortunately, they oh, okay, good. This is stock up. Oh, yeah, and they drew the Ancient Tomb. So they've got a handful of land. Which, all right, Fatal Push. That is a brick, friends. So, options. One, I think we need to find another Thoughtseize or a Force pretty badly. What I'd like to do is ponder and then find a Force, and then I could drop the... yeah, I'll see how many of these cards I want. I can either fetch or not fetch this turn. So I don't think these are keepable. This is showing weakness to our opponent as well. So, unfortunately, I think the best play is to just play out the Tamiyo. I don't think Nethergoyf's going to get us there. I think we just really bricked hard here. I think we're probably dead. You want to play a Tamiyo because she can dig me to more interaction. I don't think Brazen Borrower is going to do anything. By the time Brazen Borrower, like, you want to stop the actual things from coming in play. I think there's a very high likelihood they just show and tell right now. But we will get to see more of our opponent's deck, and we can confirm whether they're playing what we think they're playing. There's the show and tell. Oh, it's another stock up. Okay, well, we're getting lucky that they're giving us a little time. We don't have any lights out cards in our deck. Basically, we have to... and they can probably protect themselves from a subsequent Thoughtseize, but Thoughtseize is the best card in our deck at this point. Force, I just don't think it's going to do it, because... Oh my goodness, these draws are catastrophically bad. All right, yeah. So if we rip a Thoughtseize, yeah, I'm just gonna like I have no faith that Nethergoyf, like, they've seen so many cards. Gosh, I'm like ready to concede. Basically, that's how bad this has been. I think Nethergoyf is even worse than Surveil, just in case they take another turn. But they don't know that our hand is garbage. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play out the Nethergoyf. So, just for people keeping count, we've drawn 4 lands and a push. They're doing their second Surveil land. So they've been at an Atraxa. That's shows you how much gas they have. Unless they're still looking for a... I mean, they could have bad luck on their side, too. They do have a Griffball lands, not anymore. What I wouldn't give for a Brainstorm, my goodness. Flip our Tamiyo and get rid of 2 lands. Hopefully they hold off out of respect for, like, double days. We are presenting almost no pressure. Yeah, that's it. That's it. No pushback. I'll put a land in so I can surveil. Absolutely pathetic. All right, and here we're dead. Like, this is Atraxa. They get a swing. They refill their hand. We can bounce this back to hand, but they just have tons of mana to recast. So what we need to do is find a wasteland and then bounce this. You know, I don't think there's any chance here. Okay, so they kept Brainstorm, Ponder, Scalding Tarn, Lotus Petal. That's like a horrifically bad. Yeah, wow. They must be hitting the wall too. I mean, they could, if they had an Emrakul, they would probably use it. They could have another one of these. They probably have 4 of them in their deck. So I'll Surveil. Tommy to the graveyard. Now, I still think Thoughtseize is the best. Oh my goodness. Why can't you do a damn thing for us, deck? What did we do to you? Okay, I'm just going to swing in. Yeah. All right, I'm going to attempt to draw here. We could still, like, Brazen Borrow and then Thoughtseize it out of hand if we needed to. It's so bad. Like, there's no point. There's no point. They just replay it. We just have to hope they don't have a freaking threat. This is so insane. This is like the worst I've ever drawn in my life. I don't think I'm exaggerating. This is like catastrophically bad draws. We do know they have at least a Ponder and a Brainstorm. And a Tarn, which they can Brainstorm away. Or they can use it to shuffle. They have 7 cards in hand. I would not fault anyone for conceding 5 turns ago after seeing the horrific variance that is befallen us. But put the Emrakul in and put us out of our misery. Don't Atraxa again. I'm just going to concede. I don't even care. We'll see what they flip here. Did we learn anything? No. This looks like pretty much exactly what everybody else is playing. when they're in the sneak attack. Okay, so Disruptor Flute definitely comes in here. It's a pretty good card. We can bring in the Hydroblast. They are playing red cards. They may be playing... Do they play Mistrise? List might predate Mistrise Village. No? I do see 2 Mistrise. I don't see a basic mountain. Because of Mistrise, I am seriously considering bringing in Harbinger. I'm definitely bringing in these... I don't see One Ring. So if they're not playing One Ring, then I don't think it's correct... See a defense grid. If they're not playing One Ring, I don't think it's correct to bring in the consign. It's not worth it, like stopping some. I don't think the removal is good either. Like if any of their creatures resolve, the game's functionally over. I'm not going to try to win through an Atraxa. Barrowgoyf is slow as heck. It's like a turn 3 play. I mean, that is the swaps. No Rod doesn't do anything. EE probably doesn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, if we bring these in for the Mistrise Village, these could color screw our opponent a little bit. I don't think it's fantastic. I think I'm going to take out the Barrowgoyfs. Gaining life doesn't accomplish anything. They're not going to be attacking our life total. What we want to do is we want to get like one of our Nethergoyfs on the table or our Bowmaster on the table and just start hitting them while we're disrupting them. It's really as simple as that. Oh, now Spellbomb doesn't do anything against them. I'll take that out. And I guess I'll bring in Consign just because it is... Yeah, and again, I'm just going to assume that if they get... Like, we could conceivably, like, stun an attack through. Okay, so this is a hand that at least interacts. I think we open... So we can't deploy this if we get basic Swamp. This is a keep. So I think I do want to get Nethergoyf on the table and just start doing damage. Tomio's... I realize I'm giving up a card, but we're a tempo deck. Let's act like one. Nethergoyf, pass. We have Force Negation, pitching, most likely Harbinger. Okay, they're just surveilling here. Okay, so I think I'm going to surveil as well. If I play this, it denies them a surveil. It's probably worth it. But if I don't fetch, then like it doesn't. I'm going to go ahead and play with this Tomio. See how if they somehow react to it. I don't think they will. Okay, I'm going to play this out. I'm just going to go ahead and fetch and surveil immediately. Locking ourselves off of black is not the end of the world. That's a Hydroblast. I think we bin this because I want more damage. And it's a situational card. It often accomplishes nothing. Like I often end the game with like a bunch of those sitting in my hand that I didn't ever really have a good target for. They do have Pyroblast in there. Okay, so So this is what I was saying. Like we could have locked them off of doing this by playing the Wasteland, but we'll waste them next turn. So if they just Ancient Tomb and they have like Force Protected, it's pretty scary. It's not Ancient Tomb. Pyroblast, that is totally fine. We have another one. So we do have the option of just Harbingering here. I don't think they have a basic mountain. Yeah, oh, they do have a basic mountain. Okay, so we need to wait. So I'm going to go ahead and come in for a hug. Because they're playing Pyroblast, I don't want Tomio to die unnecessarily. I'm just going to waste this. And then hopefully they'll fetch, and I will find another. If they Pyroblast this again, I can Brainstorm to protect it this time. But like, as long as they have the ability to go get a mountain, I don't want to play this out. I mean, it stops Mysterized Village, but I don't think it's worth playing out a 3/3, 3-mana 2/2 when we're trying to tempo them just to be able to lock them off of Mysterized Village specifically. Mysterized Village is slow. You have to pay 2 extra mana to get the Uncounter ability. And I'm optimistic that we'll find a land before then. Ancient Tomb. Oh, that's fine. Okay, Petal. Defense Grid. Okay. We can just pay for Force Negation. It sucks. But we do this. Oh, it's 3. Oh, we can't pay for it. Yeah, I'm not going to force that. Like, maybe I should have just to buy time because now they may be emboldened. Let's see if we draw a land. Just draw a land and that answers the problem. Okay. So I think I go get the Swamp and I just go ahead and stick this. If they still have 3 mana, I think I need to play this out and then just force. Sadly. Just pay for force. Yeah, this card sucks pretty bad against Lotus Petal. It's just like an incidental card that like is really strong against us. So we'll just chill. We got Force Negation. If they don't have a Daze, they have to have like, or a Flusterstorm or some sort of disruption card. It's worth noting that had we played this out, we would basically have a 1-card hand, and I think it'd be extremely unlikely that my opponent wouldn't go for it. So they were going to go for it either way. But this at least gives us a chance of stopping the show and tell. They only have 4 show and tells in their entire deck, but they do have the sneak attacks as well. I'm just hoping they use that pedal. If they use that pedal, I'll probably go ahead and jam. I'll force pitching Brainstorm. Okay, they have the Mysterized Village. It does interplay tapped. They can grant uncounterability to a show and tell here. So hopefully they don't have a Pyroblast. If they do have a Pyroblast, then Harbinger can lock them off of, yeah. So we're going to hope. Okay, we stopped it. That's a big deal. They did not crack this, though. So I still don't feel safe just playing out the Harbinger, but frankly, it might be our best option here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so options. Playing it out stops the Mysterized Village, but if they have another one that they're going to try to play next turn, they can't because they won't have the red mana. Oh man, my heart is pounding. I really want this trophy. So we definitely get through here. So we only really have one option, which I think is to jam. The reason I think that's our only option is it may disrupt them a little bit. The other option is we just pretend that we have a force. Then we're going to do the same thing we did last turn. If they spend a mana on this, that's fine. They have 1 mana that they can spend. They can't fetch and crack this. The other option, the other option is we just crack a clue hoping to find a Thoughtseize. I think that's actually better. Thoughtseize is literally the only card that we can find here. We find a Bowmasters, we lock them off that. Okay, that's what we're going to do. I'm convinced this is better than playing Harbinger. That's a tragedy. I play this land out. It accomplishes nothing, but I can at least flip Tamio. I mean, it doesn't do anything. Flipping her here. Nothing matters because we don't have mana. I'm just going to do it because, like, heaven forbid, like, they somehow survive. I just want to see. Okay, so this flips. I'm going to plus here. Game is over. One way or the other. I don't think that they're going to be able to get rid of my Nethergoyf. They have to go for the show and tell now. Whoa. Okay, they didn't have the second backup enabler. That was crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now it's going to be harder. So I don't think we bring in Now Spellbomb here, or Engineered Explosives just to deal with that card. Oh, man, that was a slow beatdown. All right, I'm keeping the deck exactly the same. In terms of answers to disrupt defense grid, we don't have any. I think next time I will force it. I think it was probably a mistake not to force it, frankly. It was a mistake that worked out well for us. Okay, this is a Force of Will hand with double Wasteland. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to hope that we get to... This is a pretty tough matchup. So if we play... Okay, this is a good draw. I think we just go ahead and... We just chill and surveil, and we've got double Force up, and then we start wasting them next turn. I'll use this to surveil. It sucks that I don't have turn 1 pressure, because I really do want to get Nethergoyf out. But I feel like Surveil is probably just as effective as Ponder here, and I do want to preserve like blue cards for forces. I would love it if they just jammed here. And they're like, I got force, I got that. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. That's fine. Haven't seen a Bowmaster the entire match so far. Bowmaster would definitely be good here because they do use a lot of cantrips. Surveil has really changed. That is a keep, because I can deploy it while beating them down. It seems pretty sclerotic, but like I need to beat them down. And we're just going to waste basically any non-basic land they put out. They're probably just going to surveil again. Like, it's too important to them to comb through their deck to find specific cards. So their entire deck is basically cantrips. They've got, if you include Stock Up as a cantrip, they've got like 6 or 12 cantrips in their deck. And they're just looking for a few key cards. Okay, this is good. That's a great rip. I do think it's better to reduce their material. I think I'm going to ponder first. If I can find a Thoughtseize, that will inform a lot of the decision I make here. I do need to get another blue card here. Holy cow, these are so good. I think we just keep wasting them. I can't Thoughtseize them this turn. I'm going to take the Brainstorm and I'll Thoughtseize them next turn. But I am going to keep just hitting their lands. Okay, so we have double Force up if they have like an Ancient Tomb plus Force. And then Next turn, we Thoughtseize them. There's the Mistrise. Okay. So I'm gonna hit this Valk. I think is probably more important. This card takes a ton of mana to use. I kind of wish I'd stack differently because I can't get that waste that I really want. Oh wait, I did stack. So I'm gonna go ahead and come in with this waste. So we wasted them off red. Now we'll just come in for another hug. I think I am actually gonna brainstorm here just because it increases the damage output. Just get an imperfect brainstorm. Holy guacamole, we are getting the freaking goods. Our deck really was not nice to us the first game, and now we're getting everything we need. I'm not even gonna play this Bowmaster. Like I'll probably shuffle it away because we've already got the clock we need. We just need to disrupt. 4 more turns. Eventually they will run out of lands. We've gotten through 2 Thundering Falls. I think that's all their surveil lands. Okay. Petal. You're welcome to go for it here. I'm fine with stock up. I'm saving my forces so we can win a force fight. So this turn is going to probably be double Thoughtseize. Holy cow. Man, my heart is racing. Okay. So we'll take the Show and Tell here. Then we take the Sneak Attack. Then they have to rip one of those 2. They rip it though. They do the Atraxa. If we take the Atraxa, we don't really have to worry about it. But they have 8. Yeah, I think it is correct to go ahead and take the... just take both the enablers rather than the payoffs. Goodness, I'm honestly not sure. I'm just going to take the enablers. It will be pretty humiliating if they draw like a Magus to the Moon type thing. I mean, I can fight it. All right, you got mana. Atraxa is, let's see. Their hand, could they hardcast an Atraxa? They have 1 Petal. They have Ancient Tomb. They have just have to hit them 4 more times before they can find. Also, if they start Ancient Tombing, that takes time off the clock too. Oh, Mistrise Village does give uncounterability, so they could win if they use the Ancient Tomb. They need a lot of mana. Okay. Yeah, I'm not safe. I think I need to ponder here. Harbinger is very good. Let's see. I think I'm going to go ahead and ponder first. We're looking for exactly another... Bowmasters increases the clock. We could Delta to shuffle these away. I think I just shuffle this. All right, got to land anyway. I'm going to play it out. Oh, man, like Ancient Tomb. Oh, if they find it, we could still lose because of the uncounterability. I kind of want to brainstorm to see if I can find another Thoughtseize. Holy cow, that's so lucky. I mean, obviously, yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and... I can't Thoughtseize, the top of their deck, but I am going to Thoughtseize them now. I'll just take that Atraxa. Now they're pretty in the dumps. They need a lot of stuff. 3 Thoughtseizes, 3 Wastelands, and they haven't even seen the... we could just hold up Force Negation and have 2 points of interaction next turn instead of playing the Bowmasters. I think that's probably correct. And then if they Brainstorm or something, then we just kill them. There's the Ancient Tomb. So the hand is Lotus Petal, Simian Spirit Guide, which they can play out to buy a turn. They're choosing not to. They may next turn. That's fine. I think I just Harbinger and lock them off. Red and uncounterability. No, because they have a Lotus Petal in hand. Okay, so I'm just going to chill. And we'll inset Bowmasters here. They would need to have had 2 really good draws to be able to be back in this. My heart is freaking pounding. I can hear it. And they're dead if they don't win this turn. Because Bowmasters is exactly... And if they force Bowmasters, they're dead too. Because that gives me 4 and -1. No, they're not quite dead. They'll have 1 life. But then I'll jam that Harbinger and... No, actually, I don't think jamming Harbinger is correct then. The correct thing is to just continue to hold up force. Oh, man. I feel bad for my opponent. Like, they worked really hard. I've been in this situation so many times where you get, like... You're, like, doing so well. And then your opponent rips 3 Wastelands and 3 Thoughtseizes. That's the game. But, like... Yeah, I've never scooped a game. Yeah, good games. I've never scooped, like, for, like... kind of like a prize splitting thing on MTGO leagues. I have done that at tournaments. Like, of course, like I'll draw in, or if like you get to the top 8 and then everybody wants to split for prizes, I'll do that. But yeah, best of luck in the next league, Nick, and see you in the final round, trophy round. All right, we're on the play against an unknown opponent. We've got a Thoughtseize hand. I am going to keep this for sure. I love opening Thoughtseize. I think that's smarter than Tomio. I love Tomio too, of course, but I just want to get a feel for what we're up against. I'm going to keep this. Since we could be against Moonstompy, I think it's totally fine to just go get a Swamp here. This also conceals a little bit of information. Our opponent doesn't know we're on blue. This is a totally unknown opponent. All right. This is why you open Thoughtseize. Okay. My opponent can Thoughtseize me back. Their entire hand depends on this Entomb. So we take the Entomb. They can Thoughtseize this and Therapy. It's pretty nasty. Let's see, what else could we do? They could always Thoughtseize themselves if they rip a fatty, but they're mono black Reanimator. We'll just take the Entomb. Bowmaster is not going to be great. Well, Bowmaster, if they're all in Gristlebrand, is pretty good. My opponent said, "You're spoiling my fun." That's the idea. That's why you play blue-black tempo, because you have to... We are the police of the format. Delver used to be the police, and now blue-black tempo is the police. Like, we have to make... We're the ones who make the format fair for everybody else. Because if there was no deck like ours, then everybody just play freaking mono black Reanimator. They take our other Thoughtseize, okay. Now they have a Cabal Therapy, which, you know, they can name whatever they want. This card's probably terrible, but now they are kind of forced to take Kaito. Okay, so I doubt they have... I'm actually, like, it would have been pretty devastating if they had taken the Bowmaster here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Bowmaster them. Because Bowmaster, again, has applications. So I assume a Therapy is coming here. Rockets Theater, that is waste worthy for sure. But I want to get Kaito down first before I start wasting them. Actually, I don't think wasting them is even that great. There's the Gristlebrand. They got so lucky. So freaking lucky. They put a Gristlebrand into their graveyard from this. Odds of that are like maybe 8 in 30 or something like that. 8 in 50. Well, obviously not 8 in 50. Okay, so we're just going to put our Orcish Bowmaster in play. We're going to lose, though, due to that insanely lucky flip. It's not insanely lucky, but it is aberrationally good. Put this in, and then they're going to name Kaito for sure. Dark Ritual. Okay, yeah, you can Dark Ritual here, but you can't cast anything while Cabal Therapy. Shallow Grave! What a freaking top deck! Holy cow! Oh, man, this is some trophy round luck right here. My goodness. Now they can draw. I think we're done. Yeah, more. This is BS. All right. And I mean that in like this is a fun game of variance, and sometimes your opponent's going to just nut draw, flipping a Gristlebrand, and then also have Shallow Grade so they can go over the top of your Bowmasters. Sometimes that happens, and we just saw it happen. Okay. So Grafdigger's Cage comes in. This is another good graveyard card. Shieldred's Edict, it's not pretty. Force Negations come in. They seem to be like completely mono black. If we just take out all the Fatal Pushes, they could pivot into that lame Witherbloom command or Witherbloom Apprentice strategy, but I didn't see them fetching green, so I don't think they do. I think they're just straight Reanimator. I say lame because I think it's like discard your entire hand and then see whether your opponent has a force. It seems like a terrible strategy to me. I've never gotten why people play it, but I have been tempoed out by Witherbloom Apprentice, them just Dark Ritualing and pinging me a whole bunch while they're attacking me. So I can only say so much bad about it. We're definitely, I'm going to cut the Swamp. Barrowgoyf is pretty bad, but and this is kind of my assessment of Barrowgoyf it's 3 mana is so much when you're like dazing and wastelanding and stuff. But I can understand how it's good for mid-range. Maybe INF boards him out here. I'm certainly inclined to board him out. Also, if our opponent like reanimates him, GG. So we definitely don't want that to happen. I guess I could bring the land back in then, because I definitely don't want to be playing Barrowgoyf. Disruptor Flute can stop stuff. It seems super weak. And they've got Dark Ritual and stuff. I don't think this is correct. So in terms of removal, we have Shoot the Sheriff, our literal only removal spell. Oh wait, do we bring in Shieldred's Edict? Oh, okay, we have 2 removal spells if things get really hairy. But keep in mind, if an actual Gristlebrand hits the table and they're able to draw without Bowmasters in play. Yeah, so what I needed to do was, I guess, main phase the Bowmaster. So that's a new thing that I guess I just learned. Always main phase the Bowmaster just in case they high roll into, that card. Because we could have potentially, not won necessarily. Maybe they couldn't have won with the Gristlebrand. This is double force hand with a Wasteland. I don't think it's exceptional. It doesn't apply any pressure, but I'll keep it. It's going to get shredded by Thoughtseizes and stuff. So I think I think I'm just going to open Ponder because I'm looking for action in the form of like a Thoughtseize. Yeah, I don't want to just sit around and surveil. And surveil land is actively bad because I have Daze as one of my interaction spells. This is shuffle. Definitely don't need more land. Hearse! Yes, that's good. We'll just put it in play and we'll never tap it, unfortunately. Because they could, in theory, like entomb and then respond to Hearse with that instant speed card, Shallow Grave. If I daze this, they don't get to do the Thoughtseize and Tomb. I do not like doing this, but it is correct, I think. This slows them down. It feels really bad because now, like, I'm a turn away from playing out Hearse. But, like, I've learned that dazing Dark Ritual is actually totally reasonable. It feels bad, but it's reasonable. Now we can waste them. I think I'm going to waste and hope that they kept a one-lander. That seems like a pretty weak play. We do still have the Force Negation, but our entire hand crumbled. I mean, we have the mana to play out everything we need. We just need turns. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Finally, some luck in this match. Okay, so I'll just play this out. We don't have the days anymore. We might as well surveil. We don't have anything else going on. Whew, that is lucky. So they do have probably... we probably should bring in the Pyroblast. They may have that Stronghold Gambit card, which is a reason to not play out Bowmasters. I'm going to definitely play this out first. When I say that card, I mean Faithless Looting and Stronghold Gambit are probably in their deck. Goes in the graveyard. Nice dodge. Surveillance doing what they're supposed to do here. They get to discard a threat. We just immediately yummy it. We probably should. They could put another one in. We have lots of interaction if they do. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Who knows? Maybe they scoop to this. It'd be great if they just prematurely scooped. It sucks to have to do that, but I want to respect Shallow Grave. I guess I could do it with like a Dark Ritual on the stack or something. They may have like Lotus Petal though. I guess I could respond to the Lotus Petal. Clean up. Okay, Cabal Therapy. All right. I think we learned the lesson from last turn and we go ahead and main phase this. If we play at the land, we do have Emergency Ponder or Emergency Brainstorm. Yeah, now we start beating down. It's notable that we have 2 power, so we can start crewing this and beat him down faster than normal. And I'm going to play this out because we may want to have Hardcast Force Negation next turn. So if they put a creature on the stack, then I can just exile that. I'm not going to do it right now because now I have like kind of instant speed interaction for the graveyard. I am going to go ahead and do this now. So now we're hitting for 4, which is more than 2. Dispose of the Vault. Okay, so I have no idea what they're on like plan-wise. I'm not going to crew an attack. I'll just attack normal because like that's like a late game thing if we just need to finish them off. I'm going to drop the Goyf. I'll get double force up. And we're just going to chill and take our time to beat them down. We've got our shield up. Next game we're going to have to win on the draw, assuming they don't somehow just snatch victory out of nowhere. Kaito would be a good draw here just to help us sift through our deck a little bit more. I'm not looking for anything. Yeah, just having double force up, I feel pretty safe. There's the Delta. All right, and they may entomb it instep, but they don't have the mana to do anything more than that. I could go after my own lands here just to buff it, but I'll just get that. This is already the instep. If they like Dark Ritual, I'll let it happen and I'll just go after the spell because what they'll probably be doing is like entombing, and we're already in the instep, so technically they keep the Gristlebrand in play for a turn. That's probably what they're thinking about. Like, is it worth, Dark Ritual, Entomb, like all that stuff. Cage. All right. Yeah, let's do it. All right, let's see you win through this. I'll be incredibly impressed if you can win through this. Let's go in for a hug. I'm still going to keep Hearse up. That'll just be the Alpha Strike at the end. I'll just exile some of my lands and then we'll have 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. It's not quite enough. They fetch. Probably Surveil again. So they do have the Witherbloom combo in their deck, but they would need a lot of mana to do it. They just bin the Witherbloom. Okay. I don't know how they're planning to win if they're giving up on the Witherbloom plan. I think that's their plan to win through Cage. Unless they have like some sort of destroy two artifacts. Okay, cool. We got... Man, these last two, the combo matchups are the clinch. Like, I feel like when you're in a Fair Mirror, it's like more interactive and you're not just facing sudden instant death like you are with these ones. Okay, so Hydroblast could come in, but I actually don't know how much red they're playing because they're doing 3-color, I guess, Witherbloom strategy and maybe the Stronghold Gambit strategy. Stronghold Gambit doesn't work against us because we have tons of creatures. And I'll probably just try to hold a creature just in case. I guess I could have held Nethergoyf for additional insulation, but that would have given a few extra turns, but we weren't going to lose if we did that. I mean, it was pretty insane there. It did like when maybe I'm wrong on Disruptor Flute. Maybe Disruptor Flute's actually secret, but they have like 3 different types of reanimation spells, and it's unlikely that you're going to get this in underneath, and then they can just hold and manually discard a monster to the discard step. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm just gonna keep good mana. I always comment how blue-black tempo has perfect mana base. I mean, it is the closest to a perfect mana base of any deck I've ever played, in terms of like you draw the right amount of mana, you have the right utility lands. Oh, this is not a keep. These are trap hands. This game is for the trophy, so I don't want to screw it up. We might have to mull really aggressively. We find a Force of Will and a Cage and Bob's our uncle. Hearse and a Force. I think this is a keep. I'm gonna put back Shoot the Sheriff. They've got a 7 card hand there, 7-hander. Okay, Nethergoyf is quick. I kind of want to ponder for a land here. There's no real value in holding up. Like, they're not going to daze us, I don't think. So I think it does make sense to just ponder here and essentially treat Tamio as fodder for Force. They absolutely could have Magus to the Moon here, but I think for this first land, I want to get both colors. And now we're just going to ponder for another land. These are insane. These are insane. Okay, so if we can survive this turn, then we cage, and then I think we're fine. And I want to keep both cages on top so that, like, I don't know, like one of them will be fine. Oh, this is a clinch. Can they kill us now? Do they have the Entomb, and then they reanimate next turn? Looks like they're going to Entomb here. They might Surveil. I'll force the Entomb. I'm not going to force that. This, like, there is a small chance they die. Oh, they found exactly what they needed. What did they go for? They went for Unmask. Okay. So they're going to Unmask, and then they can Entomb Reanimate in the same turn cycle. Such a beating to lose this way. But there was no reason to force there. If we force the Unmask, then they may be a little bit reticent to go for it, but they'll probably just jam. I mean, they're a freaking Reanimator player. Of course they're going to jam. Hopefully this gives them pause. Like, oh, they have a double Force hand. But, like, I can almost guarantee they're just going to go for it. Dark Ritual. Oh, they're going to discard. They're going to do the thing with the freaking terrible thing that I was talking about, how terrible it is. Yeah, good game. Well, that's the trophy, unfortunately. We were very close. I like to say we were close, but they did have it covered. Like, Grafdigger's Cage would not have stopped that. I think in general, Grafdigger's Cage is what you want to be doing there, and I don't think I made any mistakes in that final game. I could have mulled again to try to find a double Force hand, but I think the way you beat them is Force to protect your hand from Thoughtseize plus Hate Piece, and we did find the Hate Piece in the top cards, and they had to pivot over to that. There wasn't really, like, I don't think it's correct to leave in Fatal Push. I think it's correct to just stop their combo. I don't think it's ever correct to force a Spoils of the Vault, because they're just, like, had we forced that, we wouldn't have the force to stop it anyway, and there was a small chance that they killed themselves off of, yeah. So the deck felt great. I want to play another league with it, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do a double league. So for fans of the Be Excellent channel, sometimes I feel like I'm on a tear, and instead of dropping another video, I'm just like, let's just do another freaking league right now. The video is going to be very long, but it's going to be double league, and we're going to get in some more time with this exact 75. Now, I can already tell you that Consigned to Memory feels like a total stinker. I just don't see it. I just don't see the merit in having it in your deck. Like, I guess if you play up against Carnforge, that's the only matchup that I think I'd even really consider bringing it in. It just didn't come up, but that was 5 matches. Okay, and I did play another 5 matches before this league, and I went 2-3, and I was pretty disappointed in, like, the outcome. Like, they were frustrating to watch. Not as frustrating as that one game against Sneak and Show where I drew like 6 lands, but they were pretty unfun in my opinion. So I was like, I'm not gonna. I'll just do a new video. And also, like, when the league starts off with like 2 losses, you're just like, do I really want to watch this guy lose for like the next hour? So I think if I were to change this list, I think the main deck is fine. I don't have any complaints about the main deck. I do think that, this came up. This is okay. It's slow. If this had just been Grafdigger's Cage number 3, it probably would have been way better. This didn't really accomplish anything in my mind other than just serving as like an expensive Grafdigger's Cage. But I could see it coming up in the mirror and against. But like I really do feel like only playing 2 Hydroblasts, you're like just not respecting red enough, in my opinion. Now, again, INF has been tearing it up with this list, but and Japanese sideboards and decks tend to be much more eclectic with like one-ofs and stuff like that. I think this main deck non-spell moment is fine. It's not that big of a deal. The opportunity cost is low. You cycle through it, and then your Nethergoyfs are bigger and your Barrowgoyfs are bigger. What I would do, if I just applied the Be Excellent sideboard strategy, it's just like a whole bunch of like 4-ofs basically, because you want to have the best card to interact with your opponent at any given point. Like you want to have the 4 force negations in your deck where you're not desperately digging for a force negation, where you just where you don't have to mull 4 times to find a force, where you have to mull once to find a force, or where it's actually likely that you'll find double force hands. So if we kept this main deck 75 the exact same, which I think this is very similar to what I would play, I think Shoot the Sheriff's fine. I personally like Shieldred's Edict better than Shoot the Sheriff right now, main deck. But I could see there being situations where this is good. Because against like a Tamio that's flipped, you do still have Bowmasters and stuff, but yeah, Shieldred's Edict seems like way better than this card because Shieldred's Edict hits so many things. So I'm going to play another league with this exact 75, and then I'm going to play a league with like mostly the same main deck with the double Barrowgoyfs. I think Barrowgoyf's fine. There are lots of situations where he got boarded out or he was just not nearly as good. It's just having another Nethergoyf that you could actually cast. This is very 3-drop heavy, and I can see why why INF went down to 3 dazes, because you don't want to be dazing too much. But like at the same time, like when you have 4 Tamio, 4 Nethergoyf, you're just applying so much pressure and you're dazing, and you're like a flip Tamio kills in like 3 turns, right? You turn 1, you put her to 4, turn 2, you put her to 6, turn 3, you put her to 8, and then turn 4, you put them to dead. That's how she works. She's like way faster than any other tempo creature ever printed, assuming you can flip her. And if you don't flip her, she's just an incredible control creature that's like helping you grind against like Jeskai control or whatever. So I do think she's the best tempo player, or the best tempo creature ever. And to only be playing 3 of her in a tempo deck feels like a mistake. It feels like a missed opportunity to me. And to only play 3 dazes feels like a mistake too. And to be playing these 3 drops where you're in your Daze Wasteland deck, like 4 or 3 drops feels like a mistake too, frankly. So again, I'm not complaining that I think the deck is misbuilt, but like in all of my tempo experience, it just feels like way too many 3 drops. Like I could see 1 Barrowgoyf main, and then I would go up to Tamio. Yeah, I don't know. It's bugging me. Like, I don't know if I can play another league like this. So I'm going to go ahead and make my modifications. And I just want to say, like, I did try INF's list, and we did well. We did a 4-1, and I might try this list. And the vicissitudes and the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, we may like have a bad showing with my updated list. But I have to be myself. I have to trust my intuition. And yeah. And if INF puts out like a comprehensive sideboard guide for this, I will consider playing this list again. But now I'm going to modify it. Instead of doing a double league here, I am going to record a separate league. So look for that tomorrow. And that will be blue-black tempo with like Be Excellent sensibilities. Not that I'm like some, Eternal Champion top 8 or Eternal Weekend top 8, player, or somebody who regularly wins legacy challenges. I just don't play a lot of legacy challenges because I've got kids, and it's stressful to like have to sit around and wait like for 20 minutes between rounds. And it literally takes your entire day. I like playing leagues, but again, I want to shout out this list. Top 8 or number 1 in a legacy challenge. INF has been grinding. Let me pull up INF's Twitter real quick. So here's INF. And you can see that he like puts up, and by the way, circle in Japan means like win, basically. Yeah, I know it says he's like saying do and poo and stuff like that. Let's play on the draw, on the play. It's always weird when I look at it. I can't help but think of poop because it's like poo, do, but you can see like top 8 with blue black tempo 8 hours ago. His list is I don't see any differences between his list here. Maybe the exact 75. Yeah, I don't see a single difference. He's still on 3 Tommies. So he top 8'd here. I mean, he's getting results, but part of it is he plays a lot. He plays a ton. I mean, he might be like retired or something, like with the amount of like he did he did a qualifier in the same weekend. 5-3. That's pretty good. He's just playing this deck, like grinding this exact 75. I've never been the kind of person who can just play a single deck like tons. Here he went 1-2 and he dropped. He lost to Doomsday and he lost to Seek and Show. That's rough beats, but he's playing the exact 75. And then this is May 9th, which is 2 days ago. I mean, the guy just, as far as I can tell, he just plays Legacy Challenges all day. So he knows what he's doing. He's got his play style and everything like that. So I just want to be very clear and very deferential and respectful. When I disagree with him on certain like card decisions, he's probably a better player than me. Oh, and he's been doing Reanimator too. So he's not like a true one person or one deck person. He does flex. He also plays Delver sometimes. And I can't bring myself to play Reanimator. It's a bridge too far for me. I'll play Omnitell, and I did that in the video, but like I just revile. Like it's just like I have a visceral reaction to like casting into him. I just don't ever want to cast it in my life if I can avoid it. I'm sure at some point I'll do it, but so here he first. I think this is a legacy challenge that he won that this is based off of. But we can see that he faced Jeskai Wizards, which is a hard matchup. He faced Spy, which is what the Japanese people call Oopsal spells because they don't have like Oopsal mushroom or Oopsal marshmallows, that Lucky Charms thing. Gosh, I would love to eat a bowl of that. I'm sure I get diabetes. He's got he beat Green Lands, which is like 12 post, I think. Teamer Delver, 4-color beans. He beat 4-color beans twice in a row. I mean, this deck just farms beans in fair decks, I think. Ninjas, and then he fought against beans again, and then he fought against Spy. Again, that is Oopsal spells because of like Balustrade Spy. Balustrade Spy? I have no idea. Not a card that I care for. Okay, and then here he did like Turbo Doomsday. So he has reach, but it's almost always, I think it's all blue. Like, I would love to hang out with this person in person. INF, if you're watching this, let's make it happen. Maybe I'll send you a DM. I'm going to be in Tokyo. Yeah, very cool. So you can see like, and it's just like very verbatim, like literal. Like, I don't know how strong his command of English is, but he does make an effort to write in English here on his Twitter. So us Anglophones can understand what he's saying. But yeah, very cool. Then he does dabble in some vintage too. And 3-3 to vintage challenge. Anyway, we could just look through this all this time, but it's _INF. And his Twitter is like, I think it's like 3 underscores because apparently 1 underscore was taken. Yeah. Well, if you're already using underscores in your username, then you'll always be able to get your username right, unless it's like an incredibly popular service. So that is where I'm going to leave it. I had a blast. We were so close to the trophy, but unfortunately, evil did prevail, and the Reanimator legions continued to run roughshod over our hallowed, coveted, blessed gameplay that is the Island Ponder Keep. So until next week, or really, hopefully until 36 hours from now. I've been dropping a video every 36 hours. 36 hours from now, look for the blue-black tempo with Be Excellent sensibilities. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.